Hello, trading has closed on the 7th of August, 2024. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. Go over our calls, make our predictions. It's my trading plan for Thursday, which is August 8th, 2024. I won't be doing any trading myself. I'm busy all day. I will try to make a video in the evening. I'm not certain I'll be able to do it. So I'm not risking my own money on this, and if you're risking yours, do so at your own risk. Well, yesterday we had mixed signals. We said the commonest thing was a gap and a prompt move outside yesterday's range, and that happened. This is what we said. Look for the pattern with the early high, which this was. And tomorrow should be the pattern with the early low. Here's your early high. Tomorrow has the early low. During the day, MEJT gave an ultimate buy signal that hasn't been satisfied yet. Gives us a target of 53.26.99, and almost always we'll get more than that. These are reliable signals. They just don't always print when they want to. Ultimate doesn't mean powerful like an ultimate weapon. It means eventual, as in ultimately the target prints. And we just had one print after a few months, so it doesn't have to print anytime soon, but almost always, not always, but almost always, you're going to see that number within 2 or 3 days. We also have a signal from MEJT that this drop isn't the real thing, and we're going to see 52.45.70 most likely by tomorrow, unless we gap down smartly. That'll be my call. This is the weekly chart. This is, excuse me, the weekly TDST line, so we're at support. We had signs of a capitulation bottom on Monday. I think it'll be retested at some point, but normally I'd see more than 2 days rally after that. And we have a wall into the close. These are often signs of capitulation selling, and almost always, very, very often, this wall is met by rejecting it and gapping up over this high at tomorrow's open. So if that happens, which hasn't happened yet and futures are down, if this is a false move, we'll reject it by gapping and probably overtaking this high. I think it increases the confidence. We're going to see 52.45.70 and increases the confidence. We're going to see 53.26.99 and even higher than that. But if we keep on dropping, then this isn't being rejected and your confidence drops, and that we're not going to know until tomorrow's open. We had this big sell-off. We've called it as a completing an ABC. We'd stopped right at the 38.2% retrace. That's one of the places the pullback can't stop. It certainly is a common place, but we had signs of a capitulation low on Monday. We've recovered to this level quickly. The majority of the time, you're going to recover either to the 50 or more likely 61.8% level, and that's around 54.58. Now, it's not a guarantee, but if this can hold, I think those are likely targets. Right now, we've stopped right at a 61.8% retrace at the last move up. That certainly is where you'd like this drop to stop. So if this wall works, it's stopping at a perfectly logical place. All we have to do is take this high out early, ideally by gapping over it, and we have much higher targets. Although eventually I think we'll see that low retested. Of course, if that doesn't happen and this support doesn't hold, we don't have to risk money on it. Well, tomorrow's pattern has the early low regardless of where we open. Typically, it's a rally day with a high in the final hour. If it's a weekday instead, that means more weakness should be coming. Now, MEJT has higher targets, so unless we gap down smartly, the rules call for us to go up. Doesn't mean we close up, but it's likely. Gapping down smartly is not impossible, as futures are down significantly as I write this, and everything I'm saying is dependent on that being recovered and trapping all those people who were hopefully panic selling at the bottom, at the close. The NASDAQ, McClellan Oscillator, and the Volatility Index have reversed through their Bollinger Bands, giving buy signals. There's a wall into the close. Often that's followed by gapping up. Now, Monday's bottom has the elements of a panic sell-off and short-term low. I think the odds favor that low being retested at some time. However, I expect us to trade higher first. And if that's right, now that's not a lock. If it's right, then ideally, we should recover from the after-hours drop, promptly trade over the last relative high, and hit the higher targets. If we keep on dropping, that idea is killed. And that we're not going to know till the open. Till we know we don't have to risk any money. So we had the elements of a panic low here, huge rally over the overnight bottom, a 61.8% pullback with a wall into the close. We have the indicators we use reversing through their Bollinger Bands. All this makes this a likely spot for this drop to stop, gapping over this and recover up. But just because it's likely doesn't mean it's a lock. I would, if I weren't busy all day tomorrow, I'd wait to see how we open. We open over this. I think these likely targets, these higher targets, much higher targets are very likely. We keep dropping through that 61.8. I keep my powder dry because eventually I think we're going to see that low again. Now it's the pattern with the early low. It's usually a rally day. I'd like to see us rally right from the open. I don't always get what I'd like. And if I miss a trade, I miss it. That's just the way it goes. I just don't mind missing trades that win. I just mind taking trades that lose. And if we gap over this, I think there's a good chance a long is going to be a winning trade. But until that happens, I don't think you have to risk any money. It's the pattern with the early low. And that is today's call.